Return of the fist, oh yeah, return of the fist, yeah boy, return of the fist, return of the fist. Yes, that's all that was going through my mind throughout this chapter. Knuckle Duster is back and he is feeling that age. Blown out knee, he can barely stand, he needs like a reinforced cane pretty much just to get around, and he had to basically use the same tactic as the last time to corner number 6. And that's basically use Koichi as bait for the most part. Use when number 6 would be going in for a really brutal sniping tactic that Koichi would never see coming because of course he wouldn't. Koichi would never think, oh, my enemy's going to form a friggin' sniper rifle. That's something I should be on the lookout for. No, Koichi would never think that. But Knuckle Duster, he is experienced as all get out. And so once number 6 is in position, he goes in with that Falcon Punch! We also get a little bit of the backstory of number 6, who I had always kind of assumed was a creation of the Doctor and All for One from the very beginning. But I think this is a moment where we get a little bit of a revelation that apparently All for One had been going around finding troubled youths where he could. And one such person was number 6, who apparently at some point in his childhood had suffered some kind of trauma, which caused him to lose his sense of self as a whole, making him basically a non-entity for the most part. And whereas the Doctor felt that he would be unfit to become All for One's pupil like Tomura Shigaraki. So I have to wonder if maybe number 6 was a bit of a backup for Tomura, or if Tomura was the end goal for All for One. But whereas the Doctor saw a waste of time, as he tends to do, All for One saw a well of limitless potential. This kid could be turned into whatever All for One needed at any given moment. So he had number 6 study various different heroes. Shout out to the Lady Negant cameo image, that was pretty cool. But he told number 6 to find a quirk that suited his fancy. And of course, like we saw, he ultimately chose O'Clock. And so All for One told number 6 to visualize him as O'Clock, as his mentor, in order to shape number 6 going forward. And, that's why number 6 has this obsession, because he was told from the very beginning to model himself after O'Clock. That's all he knows. That's all he's ever really had. That's why he has this deep-rooted obsession. Meanwhile, Knuckle Duster, he's realized that number 6's obsession with him can be used to his advantage. So instead of number 6 just reforming and throwing Knuckle Duster off, Knuckle Duster simply is just like, hey, don't you have something to say to me, kid? But he never allows number 6 to get out what he wants to say to Knuckle Duster. But through the very savage beating that Knuckle Duster is laying into number 6, he does ultimately spout out, why did you choose him and not me? All I ever wanted was to become like you. And it's interesting that number 6 just can't see why Knuckle Duster would hate him, honestly, would want to destroy him. It should be very obvious and very clear, but number 6 has just been so warped and twisted, he can't even see why the actions that he's taken up to now have been so deplorable. But number 6 manages to form a gun, still has the gun barrel kind of formed in his hand, and uses that to fire on Knuckle Duster. But Knuckle Duster managed to redirect it just in the nick of time. And Knuckle Duster, as he continues to lay into number 6, ultimately says that you picked the wrong guy to idolize. Yeah, I've got a decent quirk, and I have a bit of intelligence, but that's not everything. What matters most is the ability to spur people forward and cause other greater people to take your place in the world. And it's very similar to the philosophy that Aizawa tries to instill in All Might. After, honestly, if you've just watched the last episode of My Hero Academia's 5th season, Aizawa told All Might, who felt guilty about the fact that he managed to live after the Camino incident, that he shouldn't be sorry for living. He should go forward and try to inspire the next generations to build themselves into something better than the previous generation, which is very true. However, this little discussion is cut short as we see that Knuckle Duster and those objects that I've been wondering what they were for the longest time, we find out these are a series of explosives that Knuckle Duster had set up in this building, meaning that he fully intends to take number 6 down with him in a fiery blaze of glory. Although we've had so many situations where Knuckle Duster seemingly was about to die that it's hard to tell if this is going to be the one that actually sticks. And we do see some place that looks like it's out in the country. Knuckle Duster's daughter is just out there kind of recovering a little bit of rehab after the ordeal that she went through, and she sees a shooting star, which tends to symbolize someone's death in a lot of Japanese culture, especially in terms of anime. And on the one hand, while I'd be pretty okay with Knuckle Duster going out this way to a certain extent, I'd also kind of be a little bit bummed because he only just started to rebuild his relationship with his daughter. For him to just die now, that would leave things on a bit of a sour note, especially in terms of the overall manga series. I don't know, it's very hard to tell what I would be most satisfied with, and if this manga is one that would want to go in that direction. It would be pretty hardcore, but at the same time, I feel like that might just be a little bit of a step too far. But the last few story arcs of Vigilantes has been a bit on the brutal side, so I could also understand it as well. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Which would you prefer? That this be Knuckle Duster's final hurrah and he dies in a blaze of glory? Or he kind of fakes his death to a certain degree, goes and retires from the fighting business and all that, and manages to just move out and take care of his daughter for the rest of his days? It's really hard to say for the most part. But if this should be Knuckle Duster's swan song, what a great ride it's been. So if you like this video, please leave me a like, comment, bell, all that good YouTube stuff. And until next time, I've been Duuz-Diz-Din, and I will see you later. Bye-bye.